Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Washington where the story we brought to you yesterday about a man barricading himself in a home. We've got more information and new information about that case. Beaufort County Sheriff Scott Hammonds confirmed to WITN that 35-year-old Mason Brown was taken into custody yesterday afternoon. The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office says the deputies and officers with the Washington Police went to a home in the 2000 block of West 5th Street for a domestic dispute. Sheriff Hammonds says that at the scene, Brown charged at a deputy with a knife. Following the encounter, Brown ran into the home and barricaded himself inside. Deputies say the man's mother got out of the home safely, leaving just the man inside. The Washington man was soon taken into custody and charged with assault with a deadly weapon and resisting a public officer. He has a court date set for February 12th. And we also have a story to bring to you out of Jacksonville where a man who was out on bond from rape charges was accused of now exposing himself to teenagers at a fast food restaurant. 19-year-old Anthony Baldwin Jr. is accused of exposing his genitals at the cookout on Marine Boulevard yesterday. Warrants say he exposed himself in front of two 16-year-old teenagers and an adult. Court records show Baldwin was bonded out of jail yesterday after he was arrested for second-degree forcible rape last May. Baldwin was arrested by Jacksonville police and was charged with 2 counts of indecent exposure in a public place in front of a minor and 1 count of indecent exposure. Baldwin was taken to the Onslow County Jail under no bond because he has pending charges. And then to another story, this one out of Kinston. This one, again, interesting. Kinston police say they were called to a break-in at the Little Caesars on Vernon Avenue on Sunday. When officers arrived, they were told that 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett had broken into the restaurant 2 different times. Police say Hackett once worked at the chain. Now, the first time Hackett reportedly broke in, police say he entered the business, made pizzas, sold them to customers, and kept the proceeds to himself. Now, warrants say he made and sold 10 pizzas, pocketing $50. A second time Hackett broke into the business, employees there tried to stop him from getting inside, and police say that led to a fight. Hackett was taken to UNC Lenoir Health Care for injuries from the fight. And he was then taken to the Lenoir County Jail. Now, Hackett is facing the following charges: breaking and entering, obtaining property by false pretenses, larceny after breaking and entering, breaking and entering. Excuse me. Now, Hackett is facing a $50,000 bond. Now, of course, we also want to highlight your weather forecast. We have got our eyes on a First Alert weather day, another one. This one coming up Wednesday night into Thursday morning as a wintry mix is expected across eastern North Carolina. Now, at this point, it looks like it's going to be more of an ice event throughout most of eastern North Carolina than a major snow event that we just got done with over this past weekend. Can still see snow outside right now. The last thing I know school administrators want to hear about is more issues to travel. And to apologize about that because it looks like we may be having some more issues with travel coming up Thursday morning. Now, coming up for tomorrow, we're looking at rain through most of the day. We'll have some rain showers show up early on in the morning, maybe around 8, 9 a.m. Some areas will get a little bit earlier than that. But that rain is going to do a lot to help melt away lingering packs of snow across eastern North Carolina. You can still see, again, snow on the visible satellite throughout eastern North Carolina. As you can see through our Greenville cam, still very much present in some massive piles in the Publix parking lot, but also in that grass field just off to the side. Now, as far as air temperatures go, we are continuing to warm up, getting into the most likely the mid-40s coming up this afternoon. Right now we are in the upper 30s to low 40s, generally between around 37, 38 degrees up to around 43 degrees. Right now Kenansville coming in at 43. Don't see any warmer spots on the map right now. Oh, well, Stumpy Point, 48 degrees. I'm not buying that one. Not right now. Not with the rest of eastern North Carolina. Again, about 8 degrees cooler. But winds out of the west, currently blowing in at generally 3 to 6 miles per hour. Not looking again at a strong breeze today, but we will start to get a little bit more of a push of the air coming in from the southwest later on this afternoon. Again, highs mid-40s coming up later on this afternoon, but cloud cover will get thicker and thicker, and that will lead to, one, air temperature staying above freezing tonight, but two, eventually seeing some raindrops fall out of those clouds. Likely staying in the mid-30s overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Going to be avoiding, again, 32 degrees, but tomorrow rain showers throughout the area will allow air temperatures to return to about where they're at today. Maybe a little bit cooler, but not by a whole lot. Then that area of low pressure that's going to be powering those raindrops, that is going to slow down and shift its way further south. There you can kind of see it sinking a little south there and then heads towards Cape Fear. That opens the door for more cold air to move into eastern North Carolina. If that low were to stay a little bit further north of the east, we wouldn't be talking about any sort of wintry mix. But with that low to our south, that gives us again some cold air exposure on the backside of that low. And that means we could be seeing some, I would say, cold rain to freezing rain to sleet to maybe a few snowflakes kind of night. So here's what we've got by 5 p.m. Rain showers coming down across eastern North Carolina. Cold air still not there at that point, but by the time we get to 10, that cold air is going to start to drift down out of Virginia. There you'll note, seeing kind of that sleet, freezing rain, cold rain, even snowflake mixture there, stretching from Elizabeth City all the way down to about Rocky Mount. Now that line is going to, again, extend its way further and further south as we head through the night. But also note, we're not going to, again, be seeing a big push of snowflakes for areas really south of 264, or even, I would say, more 64. Even 264 may be a little bit too far south for some of those snowflakes to actually reach. So for those of you watching in New Bern and Jacksonville and Maysville, Morehead City, Kinston, all of Duplin County for that matter, Washington, Chocowinity, you guys likely going to again end up seeing, even Greenville for that matter. Greenville may end up with a dusting, but I'm not anticipating much snowfall out of this system. If we see snow, it'll likely end up being less than an inch, but the problem is that we could certainly see some icing as that system rolls through. Everything should melt away through the day on Thursday, mostly because air temperatures will be back into the upper 30s. Sunshine will certainly help with that. But if we again hang on to a little bit more cloud cover coming up on Thursday, then the chances of seeing maybe some slick spots on the roads early Friday morning could be a possibility because of Thursday night's low dropping back down to about 20 degrees. Now over the Super Bowl weekend, highs in the low to mid 40s. Then we get into the upper 30s on Monday, low 50s coming up by next Tuesday. Well, that's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.